Hi folks, it's Evo here from Thundermist Lure Company. Oh, and welcome to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. We're out here, it's February, and...
Wow, that's small.
There's a tiny fish. We're out here in February, and what we're going to do, folks, today, we want to catch some panfish, because panfishing is a lot of fun in the winter. And I'm out here with the boatless angler himself. We got Antonio with us today. Hey, Antonio?
Yep, right on my spot.
Right on your spot.
So hopefully it produces.
Okay, and this is the beauty about being boatless, right, Antonio? Anybody can come out, fish on the ice, fish spots that you normally wouldn't be able to get to. There you go. Look at that, folks.
One after another.
I'm not even in yet. We're just doing the intro here, and it looks like we're going to have a great day on the water. Let's see if we got one a little bigger than that last one. Hey, that's a little nicer. Okay, and what we're doing... Antonio, what do you run? Those little wax worms?
Little tiny wax worms on small hooks.
Okay. So we changed our strategy a little bit. As opposed to using minnows or pieces of minnows, we've reverted to middle of February. These fish are a little more finicky. And what I'm running, I've got a couple of crickets on. We went to the bait store. Bait store was closed, so we actually went to the pet shop and we bought little wax worms. Look at this, folks. Look at this. My line's not even wet yet. We bought little wax worms and we bought crickets. So let me get my line in there. Rather than keeping it out here and talking, I'm going to get it in there because there's fish down there. Oh, there you go. There you go.
That's as big as they get.
That's a nice bluegill, Antonio.
I'll let this guy go.
Okay, that's a nice bluegill. So I got my crickets down there. Let's see if they want the crickets. You've got those little wax worms, or what do they call them, mealworms?
I think so. I think you get them at the pet store, right?
At the pet store, yeah.
The ones you feed your lizards and stuff.
And well, you know what, folks? It's a good alternative. And I'm trying these crickets in the winter. That's what they're eating down there, anyhow. These fish are eating small bugs. Look at that. I might have to put the mealworms on. The crickets.
It looks like
the crickets aren't doing it right now, but let's see what you got.
Feels pretty good.
Now you're not using the whole mealworm, right? You're just using
a piece.
Just a piece. Oh, there we go. Looks like the crickets are going to work too. So, folks, I think we're going to be in for a great day today.
Well, we moved deeper.
Yeah, we're fishing
35 feet.
35 feet of water.
That's a nice fish.
Yeah, another nice bluegill. My first one, like I say, we just got started. And I think we're going to be in for some really good fishing today. Oh, that's a good hook set right in the snout there. Okay, so I got one cricket. I'm running a couple of T-turns here. We got a good use for Antonio's hat here, folks.
Yeah.
It's kind of you, Antonio, to sacrifice your hat. We had to keep the crickets and the worms warm, so these are the crickets here. I'm going to stick with crickets, although I think the mealworms are working better.
Well, I'm getting them one after another. I don't have to change them either, so they seem to be staying on the hook.
Okay.
Which is always good.
Wow, these crickets, I lost my first cricket right away. Yeah. Okay, let's put another cricket on here and drop the cricket down. But I think, Antonio, the mealworms look like the way to go. And you're just using a tiny piece, right?
A small piece. You want to keep the presentation pretty small. But we could go bigger in bait later. See if that attracts the bigger fish, right? So.
You know, I'm using a whole cricket, so I guess I could use a half a cricket, right? So, but keeping with that theory, if smaller is the key today.
Ooh, I just missed one.
Did you miss one?
Yeah.
Okay, I got my crickets back down there again. Let's see what happens. But you know, it is a good alternative to minnows.
Yeah.
And in the winter, like I say, these fish are a little more finicky in the middle of the winter. We're fishing in February here, and typically first ice and last ice are best.
Keep talking. I'll catch fish.
Well, this is a good way to tell too.
Small guy.
The little guy. What's working, because we've got the mealworms, we've got the crickets. So if the mealworms are what's doing, I'll switch from the crickets. If the crickets were what was working, you switch to the crickets. So.
But you got that nice one on the cricket, so that's
the cricket.
That's a bonus.
Yeah, produced a bit of a bigger fish, but you got a big one though.
True.
You got a big one as well. So it's good though to try different baits. you know.
That's all about ice fishing. You got to try all kinds of stuff.
Well, yeah, if one thing's not working, we've brought some artificial baits as well, but it seems as though in the dead of the winter, the artificial baits are not as good.
No.
You kind of need some scent, and okay, I'm switching the mealworms. Any size to them?
No, it feels small again.
Yeah. So maybe those smaller ones are hitting those little pieces of worm.
Yeah. Let him go.
Yeah. So I'm waiting for a bigger one on the cricket, maybe.
You just gotta jiggle it the tiniest bit. Nothing too, nothing too aggressive. They're just touching it.
Well,
You've got a thick rod too. You might be getting bites that don't even know it.
No, I could feel, believe it or not, I could feel everything here.
Yeah?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm just jiggling it the tiniest bit. And I barely see the bite.
On?
Yep.
Well, folks, what that tell you? Crickets or mealworms? What do you think? I should switch? I wish you could answer me.
This feels a little better. That's a bit better, eh?
Okay, but you know what else, Antonio, I'd like to say? Because honestly, we talked to a couple guys in the parking lot, and they just came back, never got a bite at all.
No.
And here we are, as soon as we drop our lines down, but it's the bait. The bait's making the difference. And if you look at the difference between, right here, we're fishing right beside each other, but I'm using one bait, Antonio's using another bait, you're getting all the bites, I got one bite so far.
Yeah.
So, it makes a difference.
And the thing is, we're actually using those holes that those guys were using. We didn't drill, so...
Well, we drilled holes.
Well, we drilled and we moved.
We drilled, and actually Antonio brought his power auger. We drilled some holes, and there was nothing happening. So we moved over to these holes that were already drilled by someone else, and or at least you're catching fish. Well, look at these crickets. These crickets are not...
But that's, yeah, like you said, that's proof that bait matters.
These crickets are not producing, so these crickets here, here's what we have right here.
Waxworms.
Waxworms, right from the bait store. That's what Antonio's using.
Pet store.
Pet store, I mean. and these crickets don't seem to be... I mean, I caught one, but they're not as good as those waxworms. I'll give it another try for a couple more minutes.
Yeah, you never know, right?
And if not, we're going to switch to the waxworms. But you know what, folks? When you're out in February, middle of winter, you're sitting at home, you might as well get out. Look at this. I'm switching over. That's the ticket. You might as well get out and do some ice fishing. And you know what? And get some little waxworms if you want to go for panfish.
It's a nicer fish.
And that's going to be the ticket for catching panfish. So I think what I'm going to do, I'm going to get these crickets off my line. I'm switching over to those waxworms. And I'm going to join Antonio here in catching some fish. So I want to thank you so much for tuning in to today's episode of Thundermist Fishing Tips. We're just getting started here. I think we're going to have a great day,
I think so.
At least on the waxworms. So that's it. I'm taking my line out, going to change up, and get into some fish. But as always, oh, look at that.
Yeah, no bait. That doesn't work.
But you know what? Those crickets were really soft, and I wonder if they might have actually came off.
It's possible.
On the way down. So maybe I should give the crickets
another shot.
One more shot. We'll give it a try. Thanks again, folks, and as always, until next time, good luck and good fishing.